Ms. Paetongtarn Shinawatра's direct line with former Prime Minister Hun Sen caused public outcry in Thailand, with some even accusing her of treason. But the Constitutional Court points to ethical misconduct, which led to the decision to dismiss her. Now, with 3 decades of experience in Thai politics, Hun Suranand, could you please help define what ethical misconduct means?
That's one tough question because ethics is a political science debate since Aristotle times,
Yes.
So ethics or ethical conduct for a politician, there are so many definitions. But at the same time, I think the court today quite clearly says what can be done and cannot be done as a prime minister or as a minister, as a cabinet minister. We should have higher standards of integrity, which means, the responsibility of one person when you are conducting yourself. You and I are just normal people walking around the streets. But if you are put into a position of responsibility,
Political position,
or even, if you are a executive of director of a public company, you have certain conducts or certain way of doing business. In this case, in terms of negotiation with other countries, or as a prime minister, there are certain expectations that you can do and you cannot do.
of course.
So that means that it's within oneself to be able to know what is right, what is wrong, what I can do, what I cannot do. I think the court now defines it for politicians in this ruling,
Right.
because the court has certain rules and standard of conduct. But in the constitution, they could use this as a benchmark for ethical conduct for politicians too.
Right, because even amongst the 9 Constitutional Court judges, the result was 6-3.
Yes.
Right, so it's not 9-0. So that means even amongst themselves are seeing things differently.
They see these things differently, like any other Supreme Court.
Now, not to criticize the judge's decision or lead to any contempt of court, but we're having 9 people deciding the fate of a prime minister, which was voted by MPs, which were given the votes to a general election.
This is one thing that is a question for both academics and politicians that need to be discussed. A lot of people have been criticizing the Constitutional Court of using too much power to impinge on elected officials. At the same time, it's also the responsibility of the person who holds a position.
All right.
If they have a kind of a self-conscious of what they can do and cannot do, we might not have to reach the court decision. For example, like once the sound clip of Prime Minister Paetongtarn and Somdet Hun Sen came out, if Prime Minister Paetongtarn said this is my political responsibility and I resign, it wouldn't have to come to this. So there are arguments about that. But in my personal opinion, if there is, once we have time to do constitution amendments or redrafting the constitution, I think we should put measures of impeachment into the parliament or the Senate.
Right.
Elected, of course, to be able to impeach a prime minister and not use the Constitution Court. The Constitution Court should be there to rule on what legislative bill that came out and is unconstitutional. It shouldn't be ruling on the personal conduct of politicians which were elected. I think in the past 2 decades, the Constitution Court have increased power and has even impinged on, dissolving political parties and things like that. So that is an academic argument that needs to be addressed.
Right.
But at this moment, I think you cannot avoid it.
So that's a problem in the long term.
It's a long term.
In the short term, how is this going to affect the stability of the Pheu Thai party as well as the coalition?
Well, Pheu Thai party has 3 prime minister candidates on their list.
Yeah.
First is Kun Sethar, which is also dismissed by the Constitution Court now, Kun Paetongtarn. So the third one, Dr. Chai Kasem Nititsiri, will probably be the candidate that Pheu Thai will try to propose.
Right.
But at the same time, with these 2 rulings, both Sethar and Paetongtarn, it Pheu Thai loses the legitimacy or the right to be able to form a government. A lot of it is coalition government. So coalition partners might look at the Pheu Thai party and say, oh, Pheu Thai is finished. If I stick to this coalition, I might not be able to go back to the constituency of mine and explain myself why I'm still supporting Pheu Thai.
Right.
So there is an expectation that some of the coalition partners might be starting to looking to other candidates
Right.
to form a government.
Some political parties are pointing towards a house dissolution.
There is a legal problem with that. I'm in the camp that thinks that the acting prime minister, who is now with Pheu Thai, should be able to dissolve the house because the continuity of a democratic system.
Right.
But there are some other legal experts who say no, you have to have a prime minister who is an actual prime minister to dissolve the house.
Right.
So to avoid that question, I think the next prime minister should be selected by the parliament within next week.
Right.
Either Pheu Thai's candidate or Kun Anutin Chanvirakul fromภูมิใจไทย or other candidates, which are 5 are left, from the smaller political parties. But once he becomes prime minister, disappointingly, or he, no she, but once he becomes prime minister, it's what I think that he should do is to dissolve the house.
Right.
So return the power to the people, and the people can maybe elect that guy back.
Who knows, he can come back, yeah.
He can come back. But at least he have the legitimacy of being elected, fully elected,
Right.
and come in with an agenda to solve the country's problem, either economic or the security problem, the border problem with Cambodia. He will have more legitimacy.
With all this going on, how is the international community looking at us, and especially investors?
Well, it's tough for them. It's tough for them. It's tough for me to explain. But it's easier for me to explain than there's a coup d'etat and then going back to explain to my friends that Thailand is okay. But it's going to be tough for us to explain why did the prime minister lose a position through constitution court. So that's why I think if we can finish this job up, I'm not we, but the parliament,
Right.
and select a new prime minister through democratic means, through the parliament, then we can explain to international investors.
Okay.
But for international investors, don't worry much because whatever kind of government we have in Thailand, stable or not, we have always been a free market economy, an open economy.
Right.
So we also all know government by coup d'etat or government by democratic means
Right.
has always been an open market economy for Thailand.
Right.
That's the strong part for us.
What sort of reforms or legal clarifications does Thailand need in order to prevent these problems from happening in the future?
I think we have to go back and look at the constitution. Actually, Constitution Court is not new. It's since 1997, which is so-called People's Constitution. We have independent institutions to counterbalance because they don't trust the politicians. I think most of the public in the world now don't trust politicians. Who does, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, this balance and check and balance system maybe have to be re-examined so that people will find that if I elected a person, I should be able to recall him, or there should be a democratic process. The people who are representative or the senators who are elected could be the one who impeach the prime minister,
Right.
not a court, except for criminal or corruption cases.
Right.
If it's a political decision like this, it's a little bit murky. I think we should really find that border. But I think Constitution Court and other independent organization or institution are still necessary in this kind of political environment in Thailand.
So you think the next general election is first or second quarter of next year?
I doubt if anyone wants an election now because being an MP right now is so hard to explain to people, especially on the government side.
Exactly.
The opposition would be happy to have an election, but I think any new government could last about 3 to 6 months. That's it. If there is a House dissolution by next year, second quarter, shouldn't be more than we could expect that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for
Okay.
your time.
Thank you very
ขอบคุณ
much.
มาก
ขอบคุณครับ